And here we are inside this elegance, this fine Japanese craftsmanship. Or is it made in America? Is it made in Mexico? It's a global economy. I don't even know. All I know is that Toyota is the main brand. Who cares? The wheel is laid out with all the controls you need. Volume. Mode. Switch between AM, FM, satellite, phone, Bluetooth. This operates your radio. You know, as you can see, we don't want to get into that right now. Chrome accents on this leather treated door, or whatever that is. I'm guessing it's leather. Soft material lines the door panel. Chrome accents on the power controls for the locks and windows. Chrome trim around the AC vents and everything. Traction control, trunk knob, all laid out on the left side here. A thin, soft material is laid over a hard material underneath. You know, it's a little cushion, but it's hard underneath that. This is all soft material up top, though. Anywhere you see this whitish material, it's a very thin layer of a soft material with a hard plastic probably underneath, I'm sure. All across here. Chrome accents across the console. And a wood grain glove compartment trim. Underneath, standard plastic. So there's the door from the side, so you can get the full effect. Leather seats. Which brings me over to the console here, where you can control the heated seat function. I don't see a cool seat option on this car. I don't know if they have it on a higher trim, but you definitely have a heated seat function with your level of comfort. You can go low or high, but it's about to be summertime, so you don't want to think about that right now. Economy mode, normal mode, and a sporty mode. Now, are these really worth anything? Who knows? I don't know if they just there for gimmicks or what. I don't know if sporty mode gives you a little more power to the engine. Economy mode, does that really save gas? I haven't tested it. You know, I'm average. A soft armrest, very soft cushion with your coin holder and 12-volt charger inside. Chrome accent with a wood grain trim on your shifter with an optional manual mode, of course. Saves even more gas with that. Nice little slide door that reveals the auxiliary jacks and USB port and two 12-volt chargers ducked off. Push that in and it slides right back out quickly. Your climate control is laid out kind of in a swooping pattern here. Easily adjust your temperature, lower or higher. Touch screen radio. And once again, there are no buttons on this. This is all flat. So it's like a sensor thing over here. And also on the screen, XM, AM, FM radio. That shows pictures and everything. CD player up top. And that's what your center console looks like. In Toyota fashion, it's not too over the top. But it's, you know, easy to operate and it looks attractive enough. The visibility is great, of course, in the windows. You have automatic seat adjustments on the side. Power operated. And this is what your dashboard looks like. Illuminated in a white light with a touch of blue. A screen that shows your odometer and how much gas you can go into empty. And your trip information. So not too much to play with on that dashboard. Some of these new cars have so many different things you can zoom through over in this area. Fuel economy, trip information, tire pressure, anything you need to know about your car. A lot of cars now put that all on this little digital screen. But it looks like the Avalon kept it simple and just kept it to the basics. Your trip information, your odometer, and your fuel distance. Not too much to overwhelm you. Automatic lights. Set that to auto and they'll flick on by themselves or go off by themselves as the sunlight dictates. So yeah, you know, the Avalon is pretty much a jazzed up version of a Camry. A Camry with a nicer interior and a few more luxury features. You know, actually you can probably get a Camry XLE and won't be missing out on much, except maybe a slightly more powerful engine and a nicer looking console. Let's get in the back seat and see how much room they have back there, you know. Pardon me, sir, but do you have any Grey Poupon? No. People don't eat Grey Poupon anymore. Oh, surely you jest. Nah, for real though. It's roomy back here. If you want to be driven around in the Avalon, hire you a driver. You'll be comfortable. I mean, you know, you can eat you some Grey Poupon back here. Not as nice as a Rolls Royce, maybe, but am I going too old school? Do anybody remember them old Grey Poupon commercials? They just made it seem like Grey Poupon was that next level stuff. And I think I tried it one time and it wasn't even all that, just some spicy mustard. You got vents back here that you can simply open and close the vents on and adjust with a little wood grain accent thrown in. Surprisingly, there don't seem to be any USB or 12-volt chargers back here for the passengers. The seats are nice and comfortable though. You have a cup holder ducked into the leather seat and a compartment that you can just slide off into the trunk. You know, if you got a baby you want to hide, you can just duck them off in there. Nobody will ever know. And then you can close it up and lock it, you know. Duck that baby off in there and hide the body. Duck it off nice and sweet. Nah, for real though. I'm guessing that's to like slide something long through the trunk area. And I'm not advocating killing no babies, you know. No murders. You know, now that I think about it, my car actually have that. I got a Camry XLE. And I have this, but I never even tried to open it before. I need to see if it works. So yeah, comfortable leather in the back. Lights for if you want to eat or get your read on in the back seat. Center console. It actually looks kind of, for a Toyota, it looks pretty busy. A lot of information on the screen, you know, climate controls and everything. But it's a nice, attractive looking vehicle. Smooth lines, shiny accents, polished wood grain trim. If it's real or not, hey, who knows? Who cares? Only the snobbiest of snobs would actually grill you on if your wood grain is real or not. But I'm guessing in the Avalon it probably is. That whitish accent across the dash blends well with the nice finish on the wood grain and the chrome and the black across the top of the dashboard. So I think Toyota did a good job in the looks department. It looks like a luxury car. Rear view camera included, baby. That's how we do it. Anything less would be uncivilized at this point in 2015. I think Obama mandated that, didn't he? On the road, are there really any questions? You're driving a Toyota. The Camry rides like it's on air. What do you think the Avalon rides like? If you can believe it, if you can imagine, It's even lighter on its feet. The wheel handles just a tad bit better. The engine accelerates just a little bit faster. This car just makes you feel weightless. The engine is definitely peppier. This is probably a V8, maybe a V6. A better V6 than the Camry, but don't quote me on that. Whatever it is, it's a little peppier than the Camry. And the car, the wheel handles even more perfect than the Camry, which already handles buttery smooth. This is like velvety smooth, cashmere smooth, with no red dot on the sweater, if you know what I mean. This car drives beautifully. I mean, I just don't even feel like I need to even talk about Toyotas at this point. Before I drove it myself, I felt like people were just talking crap because, you know, they don't know no better. One person said the Toyota name was great, or the Camry was great, and then everybody else followed it like sheep. That's really what I thought, until I drove one myself. And I saw for myself what the hype was. I mean, yeah, they had their little problem with that push to start when it first came out. I think it killed a couple people. But hey, if you want to be an early adopter of a new technology, you're always taking that risk. I'll wait a couple years until the kinks get worked out myself, personally. But yeah, man. Oh, watch out for those airbags too. On those older models, they had some recalls. Airbags killing people. Besides all that nonsense though, what automaker has a perfect record? But I tell you who comes the closest. One of the brands that comes the closest is definitely Toyota. If you maintain this car, it'll probably last you 50 years or more. And it's true. It is true. It's not all hype. So yeah, this car drives great. And I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset once again and give y'all my final score. The 2015 Avalon is a luxury car, but you know, in Toyota fashion, it's not the flashiest luxury car. So if you want a low-key luxury feel with stellar reliability, stellar road handling, a lightweight, comfortable feel on the road, you can't go wrong with the Avalon. But I will say this: consider comparing it to the Toyota Camry XLE Trim, which is the highest trim of the Camry. You can probably save a few $1,000s and get the same ride with a slightly different interior style, of course. You know, you'll still get wood grain trim actually, and the same seats pretty much, but you won't get this exact same console layout. So if you like that, the way it's laid out, stick with the Avalon. But I'm telling you, you can get the exact same features in a top of the line Camry, which is what I did personally myself. Also, you know, you can compare this to a Lexus. Lexus is Toyota's luxury brand. This is probably like a low-level Lexus. So it's all Toyota. It's all the same. Just try to be smart with your money, unless you just don't care. If you're balling out of control, then hey, do what you do. So anyway, my final score on the 2015 Avalon is a 4.5. No, actually, I'm gonna knock it down to a 4 out of 5. Just because, you know, even though it's a luxury car, it's lacking some things that other cars include. Like, you know, y'all couldn't throw in a USB slot or a 12-volt charger for the rear passengers. Things like that that are more and more becoming standard. You know? So maybe they'll refresh it and add that. So I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5 based in the class that it's competing in. It's in the luxury class, so I got to rate it a little harder. But anyway, I definitely wouldn't turn one down if it was offered to me and I could afford it. So I'm going to sign out right there as I go park this baby and get on about my day. I'll see y'all on the next review.